Have you ever paused to look into a mirror for just a second too long? Mirrors have always been mysterious, reflecting not just our physical form, but sometimes something more. This is the story of Elizabeth, a young antique collector deeply fascinated by relics of the past. But she was about to uncover a relic she should have left alone. On a crisp autumn morning, Elizabeth stumbled upon a quaint little antique shop in a forgotten alley downtown. Among the trinkets and fading artifacts, her eyes landed on an ornate, Victorian-era mirror with intricate, vine-like engravings on its frame. It was mesmerizing. The shopkeeper hesitated when she reached for her wallet. He muttered, "Not everything is meant to belong to the living," and chuckled nervously. Ignoring him, Elizabeth couldn't resist its allure and brought it home. From the moment the mirror hung in her apartment, the air seemed heavier, the shadows longer. At first, she noticed small oddities, reflections lingering half a second too late, movements in the corner of her eye that were gone when she turned. But one night, Elizabeth awoke, drenched in sweat, a soft sound drawing her into the living room. The mirror. There it was, gleaming faintly, and in it, her reflection wasn't alone. A figure stood behind her, a pale silhouette with hollow, soulless eyes. Terrified, she spun around, only to find the room empty. Days turned into sleepless nights as the mirror seemed to grow more sinister. Wherever Elizabeth went, the figure in the mirror followed. It never moved, never spoke, but its gaze burned into her. Desperate for answers, she returned to the antique shop, only to find it shuttered, as if it had never existed. Her search led her to an urban legend, stories of cursed mirrors that trap wandering spirits, binding them to those who possess it. Consumed with fear, Elizabeth devised a plan to rid herself of the mirror. She smashed it to pieces, but as glass shattered across the floor, she heard a whisper, "Now we are free." And just like that, the room turned icy cold, her breath visible as she turned to the jagged shards, only to see herself staring back, not in her home, but in an empty, dark void. She had released the spirits, but at what cost? Who now was Elizabeth? Next time you look into a mirror late at night, remember, it's not always just your reflection staring back.